When people insulted him, he just smiled. That confused them. They were expecting anger, shouting, a big reaction. But the man gave them nothing. This wasn't because he was weak. It was because he was strong. He lived in a busy town, where everyone reacted to everything. A small comment would turn into a fight. A tiny mistake would become a huge argument. Everyone was always on edge, ready to explode. But this man was different. He would listen, he would pause, and he would stay calm. People noticed this. At first, they tested him. Someone laughed at him in public. He just smiled and kept walking. Someone blamed him for a mistake he didn't make. He stayed silent. Someone spoke to him with pure anger. He replied softly. This made people uncomfortable. They'd whisper, "Does he even feel anything? Or maybe he's just afraid." Some even said, "He must have no confidence at all." But they were all wrong. A long time ago, this man used to react, just like everyone else. He argued, he shouted, he felt the need to prove himself, and every single time he reacted, he felt exhausted. Every argument would replay in his mind for hours. Every angry moment stole his peace. Then one day, after a particularly long and draining argument, he sat alone and asked himself a simple question. Why do I give other people so much control over my own emotions? That was the day he made a quiet decision. He decided, I will not react immediately. From that day on, he built a simple habit. When something made him angry, he did nothing. He would just take a breath. He would wait. Sometimes for a few seconds, sometimes for a few minutes. Sometimes, he'd wait a whole day. And slowly, something began to change. When he didn't react, the anger lost its power over him. When he stayed calm, the situation itself seemed to shrink. What once felt like a massive problem, now felt unimportant. And people noticed something else, too. Arguments around him ended faster. Angry people became quiet. Those who tried to provoke him just ended up feeling embarrassed. Because you see, anger needs two people to survive. Without a reaction, anger dies. One day at work, a co-worker tried to insult him in front of everyone. The entire room went silent, waiting to see his response. He just looked at the man, smiled, and said nothing. The co-worker suddenly felt awkward. The silence was deafening. The moment passed. Later that day, a few people came to him privately and asked, "How do you stay so calm all the time?" He answered simply, "I choose my peace over proving myself." That one sentence stuck with them. Over time, people started to trust him more. They felt safe around him. They actually listened when he spoke. Not because he was loud, but because he was controlled. When problems came up, others would panic, but the man stayed calm. When the pressure increased, people would rush around frantically, but the man slowed down. His calm became his superpower. Now, being calm wasn't always easy. Sometimes his heart would beat fast. Sometimes his mind screamed at him to fight back. Sometimes the silence felt heavy, almost unbearable. But in those moments, he reminded himself, reacting gives my power away. Staying calm keeps it. One evening, a young man asked him, "Don't you ever feel angry?" The man smiled and said, "I feel it. I just don't obey it." And that was the real difference. Anger would visit him, but it never got to stay. It never controlled him. He understood something that most people never learn. Not every comment deserves an answer. Not every insult deserves your energy. Not every battle is worth fighting. He realized that some people fight because they are hurting inside. Some people provoke because they feel small. Some people shout because they are afraid. Reacting to them doesn't fix anything. It just pulls you down into their chaos. Staying calm is what protects your own peace. Years passed. The man didn't become famous. He didn't get rich overnight. But he became something much better. he became unshakable. People couldn't disturb his peace easily. Their words couldn't control him. Difficult situations couldn't break him, and slowly, others started trying to copy him, but many of them failed. Because staying calm requires discipline. It requires patience. It requires incredible inner strength. Anyone can shout. Anyone can react. But only a truly strong person can pause. Remember this. When someone insults you, and you react, they win. They've successfully controlled your emotions. But when someone insults you, and you stay calm, you keep your power. Anger is loud. Calm is quiet. And quiet strength, always lasts longer. Sometimes, the strongest response you can ever give is no reaction at all. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button for more content on finding your inner strength. See you next time.